Good morning, afternoon, whatever, wherever. Mike and Arlen, our Philippine journey, and it is January 4th, 2025. It's been a busy week for us. Long distance relationships, LDRs, millions of dollars being scammed, lonely souls, lots of money. Let's talk about that.
Why'd you have to go? I guess this world's too slow for you. I think there's beauty in the gray, the cold, but you just want the gold. And there's no way I can beat it, cause I got no chance, no chance when it comes to her. She got the glitter and the fame, and I just wasn't enough.
Okay, you know what? We should start this out on a bit of a positive note before we get to the negative side. And that is, there are plenty of examples of long distance relationships, LDRs, that have been successful, fruitful, ended up in great relationships, marriages, long, you know, just the whole nine yards. Unfortunately, a larger percentage simply aren't that way. In fact, it's an entire industry, and we're going to tell you a little bit about it, and we're going to give you some examples. And not only that, we're going to ask that you provide us with perhaps some of your experiences. So, let's take and break it down into two segments. The first segment is you meet somebody online. This is the most common example. And then the second example is you've met them, but you're not living in that country yet. You're vacationing, you're, there once a year, twice a year, something like that. But let's look at number one, the first one. And we're going to say this more than once. We're going to say it multiple times. And I apologize, but it's the most important factor. Never send money to people you don't personally know. Number two, guard your personal identity, especially if you've never met them. Keep your LDR relationship identification, personal details separate from your personal life, because that's where tragedy often happens. Now, you can scour YouTube, the internet in the US, in Australia, in the UK, all over the world. You're going to find out it is prevalent. You're being set up many different times. There's entire industries, whole industries. It's been in the news. It's been in the national news here in the Philippines. It's been in the national news in your home country, I would bet. I know it certainly has in America. It's just not uncommon. When a guy is lonely, the depths to which they are driven sometimes is terrible. Their common sense just drops out. You meet this woman online through these dating apps or through Facebook, and you get this innocuous message, and oh, I didn't mean to send that to you, I'm sorry. And then the conversation starts. And this is an entire script that literally is followed by many different people. For as much as you know, the person on the other end isn't even in the country you're talking to. Secondarily, may not even be of the sexual orientation that you're looking for. Guys impersonate women all the time. This happens. And their entire routine is really a slow, patient extraction of money from you. You know, you can send money through Wise, you can send it through Western Union, through Remitly. Now, there have been some safeguards that have been placed, all right, or are in the process of being in place. But you see this all the time. These girls, guys, whatever, all right, they play the long job. They're sitting around with their friends, and all of their friends are involved. And between four of them, they could be talking to 20 different guys. You know, you'll get these excuses when you chat with them. Hey, you know what? I'm sorry, my data is slow, or my internet connection is bad. That's why it took 5 minutes for me to respond. Or I had to go make lunch for the family, or whatever. There's 1,000. They know all of these excuses, they have them all down pat. You get sucked in by their supposed naivete. You get, their command of the English language is innocent and cute and everything that goes along with it. Well, let me tell you what happens sometimes. When they figure out who you are, when they figure out how to access your family and friends, they've got your Facebook or something like that. This is horrible. We've gotten tons of messages and emails and comments over the years about how they were blackmailed over having explicit chat. There are just so many reasons to be so cautious. I can't even begin to tell you. Don't send money. As soon as you don't send money, then you're going to find out what's going on. They were able to feed themselves. They were able to take care of themselves before they started chatting with you, and they can wait to meet you. Simple. That's all there is to it. The second piece that we said we would talk about, and we're going to come back and forth, but you came over, you met somebody, you're carrying over this relationship online while you're back in your home country continuing to work with the idea that you're going to go back eventually and either settle in their country or marry them and bring them back into your country. What do you think they're doing for those other 6 months between your trips? You think they're really just sitting around? Americans face the biggest obstacle because the time differentiation is perfect for them. Your night is their day. So their evenings are still free. Oh, I'm going to bed now when it's really like 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Okay. And then they've got their whole evening free. Long distance relationships have cost millions of dollars, millions and millions. The Philippines has actually rated number one or in the top three locations for love scams. Now, a lot of times you'll see these people operating out of other countries, but saying that they're in the Philippines. And then you'll find times where there are people that are from the Philippines that have been brought to the other countries and they're working there. And the reason there's some obvious reasons to this. First off, you can't file a complaint. I mean, you have to literally file a complaint. You can send an email to some authority, but you have to file a complaint in order to start the process. And the odds are you getting any of the money that you got scammed out of back are slim to none. Okay. And if that person just happened to be in a different country, but was representing themselves as being in the Philippines, well, you're just totally lost. Okay. And there are articles in the Philippine newspaper and US papers. I mean, they point this out. Don't send money, period. You think to yourself, well, what's $20? Big deal. I said, what's $100? Big deal. That's a lot of money here. Okay. A girl can literally work off of that $100, and the five other guys that are sending her $100, um, as a in the province, as a pretty secure source of income. I mean, that will do it. Look, there are great examples on the internet as well of long distance relationships that have worked out. But lately, we've been seeing more and more and more going public. Public humiliation, public losses. I got scammed out of this. I got scammed out of that. Know who you're dealing with. I don't know what Wise, Remitly, Western Union are like, but for instance, I have what's called Zelle, and Zelle is, an app between banks in the U.S. where you can send small amounts of money. I don't know what the limit is. Maybe it's $1,000 per transaction or something like that. And there's a box you have to check before you can put somebody on. Hey, do you know this person? Is it a scam? When I wire money from the US to the Philippines monthly, it's, I'm online with my bank. I put the wire stuff information in, hit it, and is a checkbox that our bank says, hey, be careful who you're sending. Do you know this person? And you feel comfortable doing so before you can actually send it. That's how prevalent, when the banks are telling people, when the financial institutions are telling people, even here. So, for instance, we have like Gcash, which is an electronic wallet. And Arlene might be in the province, and she's like, hey, Mike, I don't have time, because I don't like Arlene going online to our bank from the province, even though our internet connection is personal in at our home in the province. I just don't like it. Well, hey, Mike, can you move X number of pesos into my Gcash? And so I'll go into my Gcash, I'll hit send, and it also asks, even though that person's in my contacts, Arlene gets her cash, she goes down the street, all right, gets out whatever she wants, and then she can use Gcash charging for whatever she wants. But the point there is that everybody does this. Long distance relationships cost unsuspecting men, naive men, men that are slightly desperate, a lot of money. All right, millions and millions of dollars. There's been recent cases where we've seen, the numbers in, one guy got hit for 250,000. Another guy got hit for 140,000. Well, you know what? 100,000 here, 100,000 there, that's already $1 million. And those are just the ones that are making the public news. How many guys are going to sit around and say, I got ripped off for $5,000 and this is my story, and then expose that in public to the entire world? The amount of people that report it is mice nuts compared to the amount of people that it happens to. Please do be careful. But in the comments below, how about you do us a favor? If you were involved in a long distance relationship, let us know and tell us, hey, I was in an LDR. We're still together. That was this many years ago. or this much time, or I was in an LDR, it was a disaster, this is what happened, maybe a brief explanation, okay? All of those types of things. Let the commenters talk, share your experiences so that others might learn what you did to make sure that you didn't fall a victim to these traps. Otherwise, thanks so much. Please subscribe and hit that thumbs up. Have a great day.